Okay, so Ireland have got their World Cup campaign in the Rugby World Cup up and running with a thumping 82-8 win over plucky Romania in Bordeaux in 35-degree heat. Now, before I go into the match review, I've noticed something very, very interesting. The losing side in the first three games has scored first, had 8 points at half-time, and had a yellow card. You couldn't make that one up. It's interesting because also, when I say the losing side has scored first, they've scored within the first 3 minutes in each game. Very interesting. And technically, they're listed as the away side on the match programme as well. So, some interesting coincidences and stats there. But let's break down the game. The Rapani try for Romania, kick tennis for the first 2 minutes. Sexton and Keith Earls, that is a planned play with the kick through, the little grubber kick through. It's badly executed and it's called at the wrong time. They haven't earned the right at that point to play expansive. You have to earn the right to go wide. All they've done, both sides, is the kick tennis, and they've rushed that. It's sloppy. Rapanu, the Romanian scrum half, picks it up and scores. Sloppy play, poor call by Ireland, and of course Johnny Sexton hasn't played a lot of rugby. He's been in training camp, but he hasn't played since the Six Nations Grand Slam. So a bit of rustiness there, but that is something they've got to clear up. Is picking the right time to play that move, because later in the game, obviously with the heat and the fatigue, with the Romanians, obviously they were a bit more expansive and allowed their game to flow and show that Ireland can also play running rugby and expansive rugby rather than this hardcore defence, grind it out kind of thing. They can also throw the ball around and have flair. Then they respond pretty quickly with Gibson Park, Keenan and Tyg Burns tries in a 12-minute period. They scored 3 tries. They just blitzed Romania in a 12-minute period on 5 minutes, 12 minutes and 17 minutes. So they respond to that sloppy start, which was important, because in 2007, Ireland got off to a poor start in the group stages, really stuttered, and that was the last World Cup in France in 2007. 1999, something similar happened. So, while Ireland have gone into the World Cups highly rated and with a lot of hope before, this is a different Ireland setup now. Completely different Ireland setup than what we've had in previous World Cups, where Ireland have got off to slow starts in games where you're thinking, have they got the right mentality? The Ireland of the past, in previous decades, this last, I'm going to say 14, 15 years, there's been a change in mentality in the Ireland setup, and they've consistently built upon year, and now there's a reason why they are one of the most consistent sides in World Rugby, and the best team in the world right now, narrowly edging out France. There's a reason why this team is world number one. They were ruthless today. Italy were pretty ruthless against Namibia, but Ireland were ruthless against Romania. Now, after that 3-try blitz, Rapani slots a penalty, so it's not getting away from Romania at this point. They're hanging around, they're being stubborn. Ireland have shown some glimpses. Hey, they can be expansive. They've got that forward pack power. They're very, very up quick in defence. They've got that power. They can grind it out. They can be expansive. But Romania are hanging in there. It's the Simiescu yellow card that is literally the point where the game breaks for Romania, and Ireland will go on and smash them. Yes, it is a professional foul. There's no arguing there. I felt the yellow card in the Italy-Namibia game, again, that was very, very quick. This one, we've got 30 minutes into the game now, not like 10 minutes into the game. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back for Romania, because after that, Bandiaki's had a fantastic game. He's created some space for some tries. He gets his first try. Sexton gets a try on half-time. So that yellow card period, very expensive for Romania. They barely touch the ball after that. They barely get any possession. They're doing a lot of defending. So at half-time, it's 33-8. It has blown out a little bit in 2 blitzes for Ireland. In between those 2 blitzes, of the 5-try blitzes, so 3 tries in 12 minutes and then 2 tries right before half-time, Ireland were sloppy in the first half. The line-out is not functioning well. Herring is their 3rd choice hooker, so that is an area of concern, and sloppy handling errors as well. But we've seen that in all 3 games. The heat is having a massive impact on the teams. Yes, these teams have all been in camp now for anywhere from 2 to 3 months, depending on the federation or the union. So all these teams have had long training camps in preparation for this tournament. But at various points in Europe, we've had heat waves and then cooler spells and then heat waves again. This current heat wave has come after a lengthy, damp, cooler spell. I think that has impacted some of the preparation. I don't think all the teams were fully aware how hot this early September heatwave in northwest Europe was going to be. We've had the hottest day of the year here in England. We're in about similar temperatures to St Etienne and Bordeaux, low to mid 30s. It could peak higher. I haven't seen the official temperature yet, but more where I am, it's 4:30 as I'm recording, so just after the full time. It's still 32, 33 degrees, 4:30 in the afternoon on the 9th of September. That is not normal. This is an unusual heat wave. 35 degrees on the coast near Bordeaux. That is ridiculous, and that's with a sea breeze. So I felt sorry for the players. I really did, both teams. Yeah, it had a lot of effect on the Romanians. They're doing a lot of defending. They're not getting a lot of ball. Second half, Herring gets his try, and he's third choice hooker. He would expect to get a few minutes. He had a decent game in the loose and in defence. Line out, there needs to be some work there. They need to work on that with those combinations. Mahoney had a couple of tries. He gets his first try in 50 minutes. Really led the pack well today. One of the best forwards. Sexton had a good game. He scores his second try in 62 minutes. McCarthy, late call up into the second row. He not expected to score tries. He could have scored two. He scores one, and that's on 67 minutes. Simiescu flattened him. Actually, he put in a very good tackle to stop him scoring another try there. Mahoney gets his second try in 70 minutes. Bandiaki gets his try in 74. And Tyg Byrne gets his second try right on the end of full time. They were starting to really loosen up and throw the ball around. Romania at this point are completely exhausted. But they were ruthless. They didn't just go, oh, it's 80 minutes, let's kick it dead. Same with Italy against Namibia. These sides are showing some ruthlessness that in years past Italy and Ireland in this game wouldn't show in World Cups. They would struggle against lower level opposition like a tier 2 or tier 3 nation. They would win, but they would stutter to a win. These were statement wins from Italy and Ireland today. In Italy in Group A, Pool A, and Ireland in Pool B. Statement wins from Italy, who are massively improving, and Ireland, who want to stay world number one and win the World Cup. These are statement wins where last night France and the All Blacks were poor. France weren't great. They didn't have to be because the All Blacks fell apart. Italy and Ireland, yeah, they're playing earlier in the day. The heat is having a massive impact, but the second half comes along and they nil the opposition in the second half, and they actually show what they are capable of in ball in hand, punching holes, looking at combinations with players, using their benches well, and they weren't happy to say, well, we won't settle at 40, we'll go for 50. We're not happy with 50, we'll try and get 60. In Ireland's case, let's have a record-breaking win. I think Italy had a record-breaking World Cup win as well. So these are statement wins by Northern Hemisphere teams who are tier 1 nations. Ireland, there's a reason why they're one of the joint favourites, one of the favourites for the World Cup. There's a reason why they're world number one. And they showed a bit more today than just their normal grinding performances. They showed they can play in the loose. They showed they are willing to throw the ball around and take risks. Now, yes, it is against Romania, and Romania haven't been in the World Cup for the last two editions, and they're not the team they were in the 80s and the 90s. But I tell you now, this Romanian side is all professional. This is not a team of amateurs, but they're inexperienced at World Cup level because they haven't qualified for a couple of tournaments. And, but Romania aren't no mugs. This was a solid, well-coached Romania side. It's just they had no ball. And that yellow card was a killer in this heat. So discipline is proving crucial in these games. It doesn't matter if you're a tier 3 or tier 1 nation. Discipline is key. If you want to keep the opposition scoring down and be competitive, don't give away professional fouls. Don't collapse mauls. Don't commit foul play. Yellow cards are having impacts on games. We're only 3 games in. We've had 3 yellow cards to the losing side. That is a very key note. If a winning side gets a yellow card, that'll be interesting. So we'll see how the next 2 games play out. But discipline is proving key. If you have a higher penalty count and you're giving away sin bins and penalties and free kicks, you are going to lose. If your penalty count or free kick count is higher than the opposition as a defending team, you are going to be knackered. The heat is going to take it out of you. It's a no-brainer. So Ireland statement win. I could have broken down each individual try play, but we would be here. I haven't got the time for that before the next game starts. But it's a statement win. Sexton looking a bit rusty. That first try for Romania. I mean, that shouldn't be scored. That is a poor decision by Sexton and Keith Earls on that call. Chip it over him, not along the grubber. Keith Earls gets his chase wrong, bit lethargic, and of course they're flat. The fullbacks in the attacking line as well for any follow up plays. There's no one back there, and it's an easy try for Romania. But this Ireland team is different from previous Ireland teams at World Cups. They have that ruthlessness now that they've been lacking. So it's refreshing, and I thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.